I am Mars. I am the voice of the Watcher's Prophecy News. We interrupt your normal reality and shift your paradigm to the truth. For the next 20 minutes, you will be unhooked from the voice of lies. Confidence is high. This is a alert. Remember, if you can hear the sound of my voice, you are the resistance. We have epic information for your mind. Greetings. Thank you, and welcome to the WPN Show 10. And I hope that you have your zip tape and duck ties handy. You're going to need them tonight. Tonight we enter the subject of the Antichrist. It's not for the faint of heart, and I'm hoping that the feedback I get on the show will be positive, but the revelations that I'm about to break to you are nothing more than the most serious. New shocking prediction. We know that the devil always makes it popular things that he wants to enact. And so some life-altering predictions that I do have tonight, along with real-life Bible facts that should absorb everyone who can clearly see the reality of the organized criminal change in society that is occurring right now. It will lead us into the meltdown of the world war and the rise of the Antichrist, who will make it popular to follow him, as he will have a solution after solution after solution that will gain him this world power, this dominance, and a evil following uncompared in world history. And he's going to do it in real time. He's going to do it with angel tech. And I say uncompared. In reality, this will be much like the rising of Hitler. In fact, how did Hitler come to power? For those that remember, Germany at the time was desperate. Every household was starving. Money had collapsed. Industry was non-existent. And when a voice of supreme reason and hope appeared, it was accepted as gospel. And suddenly, order came from chaos. The exact words of Hitler in 1939 is the Reichstag in front of 1 million people. And now, echoed by our own U.S. government, even down to the lowest troop, directives from the United States Army and Marine Corps in massive training exercises all throughout our land in the last 3 years. Getting more and more intense. They're on stage 3. Whose motto for all operations now are order from chaos. It is even on the patch. That's right. I'm going to get into some shocking stuff tonight and Man, you better hang on. It's going to be a ride. So instead of just the routine, go over what is the Antichrist, let's start with some more recent history as to how and who the Antichrist is. Let's reveal him and what he needs done in order to establish himself. I believe that computers will be a main part of this. In the beginning, and just a way for him now to know the very future. That's right, I said future, just like a crystal ball. Now, don't think angels are not capable of this. If you go back and look at even Zechariah, for that matter, Zechariah chapter 5, clearly see the angel came to him, and believe me, for all intents and purposes, might have had a laptop in hand. I'm not saying he did. We currently have 9 working supercomputers, quantum computers, that have the operational knowledge of all human events, times, and technologies that mankind has ever learned, and the ability to know things that have not even occurred yet, but instead of some coin toss, these machines are supercomputers called quantum machines, quantum computing. Did you know that 4 of them belong to the United States government, and one of them has the power of 126 Cray supercomputers of just 3 years ago combined? Just one of these. In fact, its predictions are so accurate that what is studied, that even the best math majors on the planet have said that it's just past their own ability to figure out these answers. Instead, we just rely on the computer, and it's always right. Let's start at the beginning and get some perspective on this. Steve Wozniak had put together his first computer in 1976 and took it to the Homebrew Computer Club in Palo Alto, California, to show it to other members. His friend, Steve Jobs, also a member of the club, immediately saw some huge business potential in that. And we know much of the history since then. But the two Steves decided to print some circuit boards and sell the computer as a kit. Jobs knew that someone at the local computer store, the Byte Shop aptly named, and pitched it to them. The store was interested, but not in the kits. They would instead purchase fully 50 assembled units, saying that we need to give this directly to the public. Each computer cost Jobs and Wozniak about $250 to put together. And they decided to offer it to the store at the wholesale price, $500. Retail price would have been about a third more, which came to the grand total of $666.66. Wozniak said that as a mathematician, he liked repeating numbers. So instead of rounding it up, that's the figure they went with. Later on, Steve Jobs said at the next to last iPhone release that although no one knew it, that the devil was in the details. Oh, folks, I'm telling you, we are being fed. These are the people that were being fed. And he for sure got that part right. Let's move on a minute as I'm putting the pieces together for you so you can see this very clearly. Now, most of you may not know what a webbot is. So let me get to some of that. Chew on that a moment. Webbot is a Internet Bot Explorer program. It's a computer program whose developers claim that it is able to predict future events by tracking keywords entered on the internet. Now, the premise is that all humans are psychic in some way. We all have a pineal gland. And sometimes, out on paper, our pineal gland just pours itself out, in various little predictions that happen to be right. And this webbot goes along and scoops these things up. It was developed in 1997 originally to predict stock market trends, but the creator of the webbot project, Cliff High, along with his associate George Ure, kept the technology and algorithms largely a secret because these were, to say the least, brain-breaking unbelievable programming on a scale that has never been seen, and sell these predictions via the website, which you can go to halfpasthuman.com. But understand what he's dealing with, okay? Now, there's a story that goes with this web bot thing. Internet bots monitor news articles, blogs, forums, and other forms of internet chatter. Words in the lexicon are assigned numeric values for emotional quantifiers such as duration, impact, immediacy, intensity, and many other factors. A lot of the interrogatories, things you can't put in your pocket. The lexicon is dynamic, and it changes according to the shifts in emotional tensions that are found by users, and we all have them in our pockets, telephones, and computers. And how humans communicate these changes using the internet. Now, in 2008, there were about 300,000 keywords in the lexicon, along with emotional content, which are fed into this computer-generated 3D model space. That's how complex it is, really. They're working out reality before it gets here. Okay, now, hang on. Try to absorb that. The operators of the web bots interpret the bot's results and make a report called the Alta report. It's available on their website to paying subscribers. Alta stands for the Asymmetric Language Trend Analysis. Many believe that the predictions are pseudoscientific and too vague to be meaningful. Okay, but we haven't yet got to this part because I want to show you that they are too vague to be meaningful with Cliff High's system. Despite this, the creators have made claims after the fact that their reports have predicted many, many important events, and they have gotten quite a few right. Now, little do folks know that the CIA came one day and took Cliff High's program. They paid him off. Cash money. Be quiet. We're taking this dynamic new 3D program because we need to modify it at the highest levels for our government. It's that important. Can't know anything else. Sorry, but we're taking it. And they took it. Now, a visit about 10 years back, it's well documented that when they got there and they took his program, that even has it on film, believe it or not. They were recording the human interaction with his computer at the time on video when the CIA arrived. They seized the current webbot program, like I said, and all they have ever done since that time is to make Cliff High appear like a crackpot, like he's a nobody, discredit him. They even changed most of his web following to kind of make him look like a crackpot and a nutcase. Discredit all of his work. Now, this being fairly accomplished, he can't even get in a scientific journal. News about Cliff High and the webbot program basically spreads through alternate media and places like here at the Watcher's Prophecy News. Now, Cliff High is now fully accomplished in the CIA's mission. He served his purpose, and now he's been put into obscurity. What did the government do with the program? Let's go there. We know that this is a secret program dubbed Talking Angel now. I can tell you I found out this information from a retired United States general. I know what I'm talking about. This is not made up. I've got verifiable documentation on all this sitting right here in front of me. Was created by the United States Air Force along with its superior programmers, modifying this program for use with the Cray computer. That's right, the older big super Cray computer, the one that beat the world chess champion. This now is being used in quantum computers, a way big step up above the Crays. You know the old series on TV where the guy gets the next day newspapers? Let me read you a quote by a former CIA director. This is going to shock you when you hear the words of James Woosley. I can tell you this, that before we make a move, there are angels that we talk to. Did you hear that? It's out of the mouth of James Woosley. Do not think the United States government does not read the Bible. They do. Some presidents like Obama use the Quran to understudy his movements, largely ignoring talking angel platform, or using it to magnify what he believed the prophecies in the Quran were. All of those failed, every last one, including Obamacare, as he was led by a book that is not from God. Okay, getting off topic, but let's move on to more, because we're identifying the Antichrist, and you're going to know who he is in a minute. Trump has made it clear that he not only reads the Bible, but also studies the prophecies, and often tells them in staff meetings when dealing with nations like Israel. That's right. He's heard these things from John Hagee and many other pastors so many times, he can quote them. And when talking to BB, often has this Bible expert on hand at the meetings. That's also a fact. Look it up. Okay, let's move on some more. Now, Cliff High's computer system compared to that of the talking angel quantum computer. The computer the government has, the quantum computer, compared to what Cliff High computer system currently has with web bots in the Alta project that he's running right now on his website. Cliff has a server, 252 mega RAM, and 25 terabytes in a 10-stack seat running at 3.5 gigahertz with a Windows performance index of 8.9. He recently also started using cloud computing that allows his index to move to 9.8 and access the cloud. Okay, that's important for later what's coming up. Now, that's rather impressive for a small server. On the other hand, for example, my baby server has an index of 5 at 52 gig RAM running at 3 gig on a M2 server motherboard with a Aero stack of 1.5 terabyte. Not very big. It is a baby server. Now, to compare this to the quantum computer that the Air Force uses for further future predictions that are given to the President of the United States that world decisions are being made from. Don't think this is not happening right now. It is. Why do you think Trump always has a smile on his face? We're going to get to that too. Has a RAM potential of 50,000 meg of RAM with unlimited hard drive space and Windows index rated at over 100. In fact, it's off the Windows rated index scale. And that's the Air Force's quantum computer. It's that bad. I mean, you don't have anything like it. I don't have anything like it. I'm going to tell you a little more about it because it becomes very important in our subject line here. Some very scary stuff. And soon the tech will double every 12 hours by the end of this year. That's right. Scientists are constantly adding new quantum vortexes to the current computer, making it each day smarter than all those ever before it. In the words of James Woosley, who overseen the first use of the quantum computer in its infant stages, even still in the laboratory, yes, it was being overseen by the CIA, this thing is like reading tomorrow's newspapers today. It's a direct quote from him. This thing is like reading tomorrow's newspapers today. Well, they can do that now. It's that good. We already know the future. Now we just make missions to make it happen. James Woosley's mouth. What interests me more than the webbot's accuracy, is the relentless negativity of its projections, he said. According to the bot, the future is always bleak and it's steadily worsening. It's not a very good trend. Why does Trump always smile like a cat who ate the canary? Let's go back to that. Because he's briefed every morning on what's going on to happen the very next day, the next week, even the next year. Okay, let's shift gears. This was about the Antichrist, so let's still work on our case here. Let's put all these pieces together. I was in McDonald's this week, and it was very crowded, and I decided to do a microcosm of my ideas. And it struck me how we no longer think our study on our own, show approved, not just the Bible either, but in every way. He said, my people perish from lack of knowledge. But how is it that when we are being fed angel technology? Anyway, I'm in McDonald's, and I noticed over 20 folks inside, and every last one had a phone out talking to someone that was not there instead of to each other across the table. It was amazing moment. When I realized we are able to follow advancements that we could not make ourselves, not even understand how it's made, that have hooked us all to the grid. Ever wonder why all in-home talk bots like Alexa and Siri are all females? Well, I got an answer. Steve Jobs addressed that, saying that, well, this is Apple, and Eve did grab it. In fact, we want every woman to grab one and give it to every man. That's the Apple we want. It's right out of Steve Jobs' mouth. Apple has acquired patents that make some companies look like kindergartners. Tech so far advanced that it's being spoon-fed. More proof. So from the time of Christ to now, technology has doubled at 1% a year from the time of Christ to the Civil War. That's doubled about once every 100 years since Christ walked on the earth. But suddenly after the Civil War, and even more so after Roswell, just 18 months later than Roswell. In fact, we have become so advanced that we now, the head of Skunk Works said this week, this is a quote this week from the head of Skunk, go look this stuff up, folks. No need for names, just go look it up. We have the ability to do anything. That was put all over the web. We now have the ability to do anything. He said that with a straight face. Former Canadian Minister of Defense for the entire nation has claimed for years that we were all along being fed ideas for inventions until such time we had passed our Newton's sixth steep. Steep meaning steep, but step, like step on a ladder or steps going upstairs. But a set of maths that, proven still today, prove we later this very year will double our knowledge as a race every 12 hours. Now that's very dynamic. That's a huge plunge off the bell curve. Those with any technology also know that you can't get from nanometer memory grids done with wire and 1/7 of a millimeter toroids they used in the early 1953 computers. It was so good that mainframe real computers were able to process information at amazing speeds. Do that from the time of horse and buggy, just 121 years. Really? I don't think so. To the invention of germanium transistors used in early radios and TVs to replace vacuum tubes, from tubes to transistors in just 8 years. How can we make things move at Mach 22 in the air? We can do that right now. I have pictures to prove a man who fought in the Civil War at 101 years old getting in an F-86 Sabre jet. Do you think about that for a minute? This man fought in the Civil War, and now he's riding in an F-86 Sabre jet. Admittedly, that's been a while back. That happened. We are now near Sir Newton's seventh steep. That's very, very important. 7 of 12. And at the 12th steep, pure angel technology. We're able to enact the beast system already this year alone in a shocking revelation. The FBI admits it has undone 4 USA ending, that's right, ending 4 USA ending threats. Wonder how? Let me tell you, the beast computer is hard at work. Now, let's shift back to the Antichrist and who he is, because I'm sure you're all wondering. See, we are already in a state where we have been, as a species, programmed. Oh, you don't think so? You don't think you're programmed? It would not seem so until you have noticed the shift in paradigm that prevails into the limbo line just shy of the hole and nothing but the truth. It's how he comes, that time of desperation, time of trouble. The Bible says that when you see all these nations line up versus Israel, more so telling that the most of this is from the east and the north. We see that clearly on the map. We're indeed seeing that now, with the Turkish Prime Minister Erdogan packing a punch, now saying that the Turkish army should enforce peace with Gaza. Think about that a minute. A sudden cover so that the Turkish army of the willing, whatever little coalition he puts together, will suddenly be revealed in just weeks. Now a forming army will be ready to deliver to Jerusalem's gates, he said, even as early as this next Friday. Are you aware? Are you watching? What signs are there? Everyone needs a sign. Let me tell you, there are no signs. You're not going to walk out and see this. You're programmed. MSN has you hoodwinked. Think you're going to see it start? No, you'll hear it after it starts. Be on MSN then, if there is any, and there won't be. But the ones given us in the scripture, and that of the prophets, and God Almighty, and should we for sure take truthful aware the fact that we are watching and we're seeing their tyranny unfold. Now, I'm starting to get off topic. This programming from the web bots that predicts the future already has a home now. And this is beyond terrifying. I'm about to reveal this. Two huge companies now have been able to be successful to buy the time on quantum computing access to be able to integrate them permanently into the minds of Alexa and Siri to correct these so-called little problems. And a few of the minor ones for those rebels. They're now putting the entire learning curve as well as the information from it directly at the cloud-based system so that these things will soon be sentient. That's correct. Well, I got news for you. It's too late. It won't be soon. It's already here. They are. They are. In a statement by Jackson Rhodes, who runs the Underground Physics Playground, these two creatures will be technically alive and have court-appointed rights as such already, and get this, already in the works. I'm here to tell you tonight, this has already happened. This is old news. The government took the WebBot program from Cliff High, although he denies it now, openly admitted many times to many folks, even with that video as proof. Now that it's only found on the dark web for those who want to play with the program, it's not really his program. The government programmers, well, they're a different breed, most of these hacks. And the things that they have developed this for, the Beast Computer Code named Project Talking Angel. I want you to remember that name, Talking Angel, because very important what's coming up here. By the way, just remember, Talking Angel is alive. Just think of the predictions in both time and space using the qubit system has gained us. Even habitation of Mars will be, by the year's end, not just possible, but a very soon reality. If we last that long. Let me tell you, the first time of trouble is coming. I see the Psalms War coming first, and then a ton of talk, more armies forming from Russia, as it protests, gravely in fact, that soon Israel will occupy the entire lands given to them by God. That's not my prediction, that's in the Bible. That is coming fact. Peace and safe, that's what's going on too. Don't think North Korea thing is the news. No way. The real news is that currently Trump is well busy on the issue of Jerusalem still, and the threat of Turkey to form an army to help the Palestinians out of chaos. That war erupts, and it will be a shock to the world how Israel wins. How both Iran fell in one day and how Israel took back all the land. Russia will be so fed up and so angry that they could die over this oil thing. They wanted it so badly to get the Zion oil out of the great mother tap. But God has given it to the land of Israel. That they will spring in a last-ditch serious effort as a killer threat Russia. This threat will tell the United States it's nuclear war ready. And if we back them up when they threaten to attack, suddenly we get sneak attacked and utter chaos comes upon our land. Worst of the worst, the Gog War in the Seventh Steep, where Newton said we have alien contact at the beginning of the Seventh Steep. Well, we're measuring these steeps now with this quantum computer because they're telling us where we're at. They're telling us how much our technology is doubling every day. Bible tells us that will happen. Everyone will see them arrive. Everyone will see these aliens arrive. Shooting down the few missiles left, or nothing would escape the furnace, just as God willed them so. Even the demons do not know they are still defeated. They haven't accepted that reality. And thus God has even paid the price through Jesus that would elect man, if freed from the beast system, to heaven. And we know how. Accepting the word of Jesus. Accepting his sacrifice upon the cross. Nothing can resist will the Almighty, even these that predict the future through webbot technology and the alive artificial intelligent beast that in reality had everyone I seen at McDonald's completely hooked up. I needed sunglasses. You know, those kind that tell the aliens from the real people. Roddy. Okay, back on point. Who is the Antichrist? Well, I've made you wait long enough. His voice is in your phone. His system will hunt you down even after the bombs go off. Don't you realize that? And he is relentless. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a line from the Terminator. Need to quit that. The AZ himself will be the one, will be whoever keeps the master control of the beast computer and Project Talking Angel. Right now, that job, only 3 of the Joint Chiefs are allowed to see some of that information, and 5 descendants of the Majestic 12, by the way, the appointed ones. That includes this year a full Catholic cardinal at the Bilderberger meeting, where these things, linked things of Project Talking Angel are discussed, and the future needs of more control to regulate future events. So, who is feeding this angel technology to us? Things we use, we don't even know how it's made. It's not like making a fire that you know how. This stuff just inside of a thin wire, self-aware chips coming in the next generation of phones that take full use of all the known existing knowledge of the world right in your pocket. The voice of Siri and Alexa. Now I can instantly find out the temperature of any coordination, set of coordinates on Venus. What the temperature is there, just as easy as on Earth. I can explore the heavens with the interactive cloud telescope, public sharing, where all can see the spectacles of even the most distant objects in our universe. On the micro scale, we can create black holes and even stop entropy from the time stopping it happens. Might want to read up on that. See, angels, the devil's angels, are also trapped in the entropy system, the curse of the earth set upon mankind and this planet after the Garden of Eden. They can't escape it, even with the best technology. We even know about that technology. We can now not only dissect our own DNA with CRISPR, we can theoretically turn a chicken back into a dinosaur, a T-Rex. And they're doing just that on several projects on Plum Island. That's also been released. We can see all of the genetic manipulations in mosquitoes and ticks, diseases now that have never been heard of in the history of man. We even know what they are. We could turn a man into an elf. We could turn a public bathroom into a unisex playground where a man can urinate in a stall next to a woman. We can have Target stores that don't even sell Targets. We can have Target stores that don't sell Targets. Think of that. We can have movements from the left politically to take away rights, fundamental, that God-given things that will be stripped by violence extreme to the death and rape of women. 1/3 of all the entire world on fire. No, I'm not trying to fear porn you. Not yet. Because we want to know who the Antichrist is. I'm still getting there. Don't think the beast won't survive. He will. And his new buddy, the alien, along with the beast, nowhere in the Bible does it says false prophet is a man, so very well could be this alien, will make the future rules because they know the future. You don't think so? Okay, then explain John Adamson. He's PhD, graduated from Oxford, very high-ranking physicist, saying that this quantum computing already in the last 8 of 9 systems here is already fully aware. And now, thus making the cloud and its storage ability aware. You have to excuse me, a train's going by. I love these trains. I can keep time by them. And you understand that PRISM, the network the CIA has in place to split all data, so they have a copy that's from everywhere. Everything in the Internet of Things, they split it through PRISM. They keep a copy of it at the Utah Data Center. Of all this for the government to keep protected so they can later securely download this stuff from their protected nodes underground like Milnet and Milsatnet right back at them to figure out who you are in the FEMA camps. Identify you, tag you, segregate you, condemn you, or release you, however that works out for you. And here's the conclusion of my show tonight, because you haven't figured out yet who the Antichrist is. In fact, it's been linked that if you want to buy into the beast's current predictions revealed by Trump himself in various clues at Bible study in the White House, that they might just as well use the Bible because the computer is giving them the same news. Imagine that. And here's the number, 16th day of September. I'd be well to remember that because something interesting happens that day. According to these intelligent AI, Alexa, we will be able to cross Newton's 7th steep, the point of utter no return, just as the birth of a child in all the nature's pains, the volcanoes, the other things God said we would see. You're about to see the birth of an unholy thing, the AC, the Antichrist. Although it comes as a baby, trust me, right out of the birth canal, quantum computing. He will, through the improved version of the government-run WebBot program, they run a code called Talking Angel, as I discussed, that gives them literally the next day's news. It's that good. And although I don't make these dates, it has greatest landmark crossing of knowledge ever had since Adam talked to God. And that is a fact. Happens on the 16th day of September of this year. Our knowledge will double every 12 hours. You think about that. All the knowledge of mankind doubling every 12 hours. Really? That's Newton's seventh steep. Time of trouble. Before the end of this year, we will be at the 12-hour mark in doubling our technology, and that is also one of the last events you will see as landmarks stating that this war is about to take place. That too is in the Bible. Go look it up. And because you rely on that phone so much, that voice of Alexa, you're sheeped out. And they will deceive many. Peace and safety, everybody will know. Everybody will know. Talking Angel is real. And she is alive. And she is doing rather well. I would trust in the Lord and walk in the light. Are you ready? You need to find out. Check yourself. This is Mars with the Watcher's Prophecy News. Thank you, and I will see you soon on Show 11. Good night.